What's up, guys, and welcome back to another edition of the Bust and Bash podcast. I'm your host, as usual, Cameron Bash, coming at you with my lovely co-host, Ron Buster. How you doing?
Oh, I am doing lovely. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the podcast that makes everything come to life. Everything we say is coming to fruition. It seems like we've got a little bit of a streak going on, huh? So we got some crystal balls here, Cam. Besides the one underneath, we got some special abilities. Especially with our predictions.
Seems to be the case. I think the latest one that currently seems to be coming to fruition is the fact that Hell in a Cell seems to be shaping up to be a Hell in a Cell only pay-per-view. The only matches they seem to be building up for this card seem to be Hell in a Cell matches.
Yeah.
So, I wonder what will make come true tonight.
They better be, because you know what? I don't see them hanging out the cell above that small space. Well, it's not small, the Thunderdome, but you know what I mean. Like, it has to be
It'd be awkward.
very awkward. Like,
Yeah.
it's got to be like half the cell. People can get out of the ring because half the cell is already raised. Like, the way it's looking like, it's going to look like it's going to be an all-out pay-per-view with just maybe 5 Hell in a Cell matches, not 8, because the pay-per-view is not that long, but we'll get into it.
Yeah. We got a boatload of stuff to talk about tonight, so plenty of opportunity here to make some things come true. We're going to be talking about NXT TakeOver 31 and the fallout from that pay-per-view. We're going to be talking about a few things that happened on Raw this past week, including Retribution and the Mustafa Ali stuff, as well as Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. Well, I guess just Murphy now. He's got the buddy, doesn't he?
He's not your buddy, guy.
We're going to be talking about Alexa Bliss and the Fiend Bray Wyatt and that whole thing going on there. We're talking about a little bit about Hell in a Cell, as we just teased there at the beginning. And we're also going to be talking a little bit about the draft. And we'll see if we can make some things come true when we talk about that.
No, we will.
Get some draft picks going. Alrighty, so right off the bat, let's jump into it with NXT TakeOver 31, WWE's latest pay-per-view, if you want to call it. It filled that slot. It was on a Sunday night, live on Sunday, as opposed to its regular Saturday slot, and it wasn't accompanied by any other WWE pay-per-view. It just went all out on its own this past weekend, and decent show all in all. I think this one was very well received. I've got some mixed feelings upon it, and I'm sure Rom's got some feelings towards it as well. Just quickly run down that card for you. We saw Damian Priest defend his NXT North American Championship against Johnny Gargano, where he retained. We saw Velveteen Dream go one-on-one with Kushida, where Kushida defeated Velveteen Dream by submission. We saw Santos Escobar go one-on-one with Aisha Swerve Scott for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, where Santos Escobar retained. We saw Io Shirai defend her NXT Women's Championship against Candice LeRae, where again she retained. And we saw Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly for the NXT Championship. And once again, clean house for the champions here tonight. He retains. So there we go. NXT TakeOver 31. Any thoughts right off the bat, Rom?
I'm just gonna rip off the band-aid. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a confession to make. I do not enjoy NXT whatsoever. So there you go. Let me, wait for the blood to dry out of your eyes a little bit, or your ears in this case. But no, it's. I don't think it's a secret when people know me or talk to me about NXT or the indies in general, simply because. Well, NXT and AEW more or less, simply because there is too much going on at the same time. Now they say, what do you mean by that, Rom? I thought having hectic stuff is good. No, because the same philosophy that Orton says, I believe in. Like, you can't just be high octane 24/7 with like these generic stipulations, these generic views with these generic names. And don't get me started on generic names. There are some exceptions, obviously, like Damian Priest. And, a lot of Walter. I freaking love that guy. But most of the stuff is... I don't know what the word is, but it's just like, inderific is what I mean. It's not sports entertainment. It's inderific. There you go. So that's fine, but there are some guys, like I said, the exception. I know people might, say, oh, Rum, how could you? When I mentioned that I actually do like Velveteen Dream's gimmick, for example, especially because of his controversial status, I guess, at the moment, if you want to call it. I absolutely love Damian Priest and his style. I think he is a very, very good balance between you and old school. I pretty much agree with that. Walter, I would say, call him on the main roster whenever you can, because that guy's old school as they come. Finn Balor came and then he went back. So I think Finn Balor overall was a failed experiment from Vince's part. It didn't feel right with him. I think he's just too experienced, too high, fast paced, and too indie-rific to be anywhere near the sports entertainment level of merchandising that Vince McMahon wants him to be. Unless he does the full-time demon thing, which I don't know why he does not. I mean, that's stupid in his part, in my opinion. But hey, agree to disagree in this case. But, just not my cup of tea. But hey, I'm not crapping on anybody who watches it. If you like it, good for you. Just like Jim Cornette says, vanilla and chocolate. Let me have my chocolate, you can have your vanilla. That's all I can say.
Yeah. It was quite an indie-rific show at moments, especially the main event, Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly, was the indie match of all indie matches. 28 minutes and 28 seconds of lot of chain wrestling, a lot of those kinds of moments. Big handshake at the end of the match. That's
Right.
that kind of feel. Match of the night for me. I really enjoyed the cruiserweight title match. I know you haven't. You've not watched the show, have you?
No, that's the thing. I know the results, but I did not watch the show. It's just like I said, when you have a name, it's like I know I'm a bit of a jerk here. I mean, I'm a bit of pretty much of a dick here when I say it's all depends on the names and the spice behind the match card. If you give me a name like Finn Balor, I'm like, ooh, that sounds interesting. I like that guy. But then you give me a name like Kyle O'Reilly, like, dude, can you imagine World Heavyweight Champion Kyle O'Reilly? Like, we had Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle, Kyle O'Reilly. Like, come on, you understand what I mean? Just feels so generic, so indie. Like, even his look, like, okay, maybe he's the guy. Like, that's why I'm saying he cannot go up to the main roster because I don't think he'll fit. He'll be lost in the shovel faster than anything I've seen in my life. Yeah. I think this was this match. I know Finn Balor retained. And they gave him 20 minutes. In total, they gave him about 40 minutes because of the entrances and promo package and whatnot. I think this, and you said it yourself, this pay-per-view was a clean sweep for the champions, right? Mm-hmm. So, and there was no pay-per-view, there was no official WWE pay-per-view after that. Yes. I actually think this was just a pay-per-view to make the boys happy, throw them a bone. Honestly, just have some time to deserve it. Give Kyle O'Reilly been here for a while. Give him a shot. Let's see how it goes. It was like a test, dipping their toes with some of these new contenders, but they're not going to give him the titles, So yeah, that's what it was. And you said it felt like it too. So there you go. Nothing else to say.
It felt very filler. It felt like, all right, let's just let's get some content out. Let's just make sure that AEW isn't dominating the headlines. Let's get something going.
There you go. Tony Khan. See what you made them do. Yeah, Tony.
They got Chris Jericho's whole 30th anniversary this week and a few other things coming up. So
right.
But that Santos Escobar versus Scott Swerve match, I recommend that one. I know a lot of people, it seems like for the last 10 years, just Mexican guy after Mexican guy has turned up and people have said, oh my God, it's the next Eddie Guerrero, Guerrero.
Did you know? I noticed that. That's the most racist thing you could actually say to a guy. Like, Jesus Christ, there was one more than Mexican good wrestler out there. Are you serious? Ever? My God. I mean, I love Eddie. Freaking. When I heard his passing when I was 11 years old, Jesus Christ, I fell into depression. But my God, man, there are more than one wrestler who is legendary from the Latin. Oh my, forget it. But Go ahead, Cam. Go ahead.
Yeah. But they've been saying it for many years now. They said it about Del Rio. They said it about Andrade. They said it about a lot of people. But Santos Escobar, I think, might be the real deal. He is very good. He's very good at what he's doing. He's bringing a lot of relevancy back to that Cruiserweight Championship. And I think he's going to be one to watch out for just throughout his career, both right now on NXT and when he eventually comes over to the main roster side of things. Another match to look out for from this show, Velveteen Dream versus Kushida. Very fun, very good match right there between the two. Double turn. We saw Kushida turn heel on Dream, and seems like subsequently we're seeing Velveteen Dream become face as a result of that. So nice little double turn there.
They won't turn face on Twitter, that I guarantee you.
I'm glad to see that obviously the company did their investigation. They've come
Correct.
to a conclusion on things, and Triple H has spoken a little bit about it now, and he's said that immature mistakes from Dream's past will are affecting him in his professional life today. So the fact that Triple H hasn't acknowledged it, I already had sort of confidence anyway. Like if a big, massive, multi-million-dollar company does not want a fucking nonce working for them, like
I know that's what they did with the other guys that did actually, were caught and they were actually not innocent.
yeah,
They released them without even mentioning them or much less putting them on TV. This guy was not only put back on TV, he was actually put on in one of the main headlining matches. So I think, they have confidence in what he did. So, that's why I think this whole fiasco about Velveteen Dream should just be, moved on. I think, at this point, it's just, the Rapish were called out, and thank the Lord they were called out and they were dealt with. But Velveteen Dream, I mean, you can call him whatever you want to call him. You can call him an asshole, whatever. But I don't think he is, at this point, guilty of everything, at least that has been speculated. Let's put it that way.
yeah, yeah. And it's just the point I was making is just it's nice that obviously an investigation's happened. Obviously they've looked into what's happened, and obviously it has set his career back in one way or another. He was the hot shit through 2019. He was the shit, especially coming into the beginning of this year. It looks like the sky was the limit for him. There was probably a very good chance that he was going to end up being the NXT champion this year.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm sorry to cut you off, Cam, but it's like when you say the sky's the limit in NXT, yes.
Yeah.
But the sky isn't NXT, my man.
But I think the sky's the limit for just Velveteen Dream as a whole. I think he's one of the best in the company.
Exactly, and that's why, like, no matter what happens in NXT, whether you're a mid-card guy, lower card guy, the world champion, you can end up anywhere in the main roster, and that's proven in time. Look at Bo Dallas. Look at Neville. They were both NXT World Champions. When Neville is gone, freaking Bo Dallas, I think, is pretty much gone as well. So it's like, the build-up with NXT doesn't matter at all when it comes to the main roster. So, it's a reboot. When you're on the main roster, you're essentially a reboot. You're a repackage.
Yeah.
So, I think Velveteen Dream, whenever he does come to the main roster, because like I mentioned before, he's one of my favorites to NXT. He's one of the exceptions. So I do prefer if he came to the main roster sooner, because whatever happens in NXT from here on out, I think it will not impact what he's going to do in the main roster. And I think Vince will know what to do with him. Not Vince, but, the creative in general. I'm not defending the creative, but I'm just saying that with a gimmick like his and a character like his, they have more good material and stuff to write for. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. I was just happy to see that, even though seems like he's made mistakes, been a bit immature in the past. I'm glad they've looked into the situation, and I'm glad, even though it seems to have set him back for now, that they still trust in him. They're still including him on the show. They've still got what seems to be a pretty interesting angle going on. I'm always interested in what Dream's doing, and honestly, coming out of this show, the whole Kushida Velveteen Dream situation seems to be the most entertaining thing going on. So, yeah, excited to see where that's going. Only other thing to note, really, coming out of this show is the return of both Toni Storm via video and Ember Moon in person.
I'm sorry, but that's not a return, my man. I'm sorry to tell you, but I can record a video right now. Does that count as a return? Like, she's just like...
she turned up on that monitor and she said, I'm back.
All right. When are you officially coming back? Because, in the whole... I don't know. You're going to wrestle via satellite as well?
It was very strange. It was a very strange moment. So just to run that down for you guys, Io Shirai beat Candice LeRae after Johnny Gargano got involved in a whole bunch of shenanigans. After the match, Toni Storm appeared via video chat and said, hey, you better watch out. I'm back. I'm coming for that NXT Women's Championship. And then immediately following that, we saw the return of Ember Moon, who is the person that they've been teasing for the last number of weeks. The whole, this brand is my blood thing. I'm coming back. And yeah, it has ended up being Ember Moon back to, again, come after Io Shirai in the NXT Women's Championship. So I guess they're trying to build a bit of a triple threat, or Ember Moon is next because she's there in person, and Tony Storm's going to be next after that. It's a bit weird that you'd be like, hey, this person's back, and so is this person.
Right, but they are all like via video, not in the actual physical ring. So it's kind of like, are they really back? Like there is that level of
Embers is in the ring. Embers was physical.
All right, but Tony Storm, like it's a different story. I will say this about NXT: somehow, some way, no matter how many of the women's division roster members come to the main roster, it seems like whenever they bring up new talent, that it always beats the main division in the main roster somehow, some way. So it's always just a little bit
on
more
the women's side of things.
Yeah, on the women's side of things, NXT seems to be more interesting. No matter how many women they establish there that go to the main roster, it seems like even if they are just like you from week one, it's more interesting than the legends that are happening right now. Like, for example, the whole Sasha Banks and Bayley thing. I think right now that's the fourth time we're saying at this point in time, which, by the way, that's going to happen in MSL as well, from what I'm saying. So it seems like, NXT's got that ball rolling with the women's division. Look, there is no tag team championship. They're not going to make that mistake. So there you go.
I think I think they should include NXT's women division within the women's tag team division.
Maybe they should actually, make some tag teams before they can actually do it.
Yeah, but they would have just a hell of a lot more range if they included the women on the NXT side of things. I think they would have. No, they don't.
Oh, well, why?
I think they had one match for them, but they don't include them on a sort of regular basis. I think Sasha and Bayley went there to defend the titles one time, and then that was it.
With the lack of women on the roster on both sides, and you have a full roster in NXT, might as well use it. You have the tag belts, and pretty much didn't the tag belts for the... I'm sorry, Vince, tag titles. Did the tag titles pretty much mean that they can go in any brand to defend them? Why not NXT? I thought that was the whole stipulation behind the titles.
Yeah, that seemed to be like when Bayley and Sasha had the titles there for their hot minute. They were doing good things, and I think the division was in a healthier state with them. There wasn't like so many teams, but it was at a point where there were a good handful. They were doing it on Raw, they were doing it on SmackDown, they were doing it on NXT. It was in a good point to just launch more stuff off of it, launch more teams, make sure they're defending all the brands, and then now there's two teams in the division, and
the entire division. That's the problem.
They're only defended on Raw again.
Yeah, well, there you go. It seems like Vince McMahon just doesn't want to have female tag teams. I don't know why. Why can't you Hunter, do your thing, man? Christ, put the titles back on the NXT brand. No, not back. Just put them there as well.
Yeah, it would. It makes sense, and I think I think a good next step for those titles is get them on an NXT team, and let them get over by coming over to the main roster and battling teams on the main roster and Raw and SmackDown, putting them over, and then go in and having their big pay-per-view matches on TakeOver and stuff.
Right, but at the same time, you gotta talk practical. These guys already are doing house shows, they're doing SmackDown and Raw. They kind of need that break. You know what I mean? Like. Could they?
I mean, it's all in the Performance Center right now. It's all within a couple
of miles
of each other.
That is true. That is true. You gotta be there. That is true. I'm talking about after this pandemic situation gets sorted. You know what?
Yeah.
We'll see. But definitely tag titles to NXT. I would actually say scrap the tag titles on the main roster and just put them back on NXT, because it seems like you got more potential there than on Raw or SmackDown. Literally.
Yeah. Maybe. We'll see what they do. But circling back to what you're saying is, when people come from NXT over to the main roster, there is a lot more success stories on the women's side of things than there are on the men's side of things. The amount of men that they drop the ball with just go from hot shit on NXT to the most uninteresting thing ever on the main roster. But for some reason, a good percentage of the women who make the jump from NXT over the main roster, they might not come in and win a title straight off the bat, but they all come in pretty interesting and always doing something.
I think the only good thing that came out of the Divas era was that they're trying to really take the whole new female athlete seriously now. So any woman that comes through NXT, goes to the main roster, is going to be taken care of really well, just to remove that stigma from the Divas side of things, So maybe that's why you're giving more effort towards building these new female athletes as stars rather than, just, oh, another one. I put them in the shelf. It's not that attitude.
Yeah. No, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. They got some good legit stars, and I hope someone I'm hoping they pay attention to a little bit more coming up into 2021 is Lacey Evans. I think she's
Yeah.
really good. I think she's got that sort of classic vibe, classic feel for her.
Yeah, didn't they actually try that already? I think they're gonna get a fair shot, didn't they? She actually made it at the pay-per-view last year. She was with so it was Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. So I remember that. So it's like, yeah, they're giving her fair shake. It's just, there are some other talents out there that need their shake as well. So, they're trying to find the balance, which again, I commend WWE for giving it the shot that it deserves. So there you go. I'm not going to argue with that. I still do not want to watch NXT though. Just letting you know.
Alrighty. Saying that then, let's move on from NXT, shall we? Let's move over to Monday Night Raw and talk about some of the things that we experienced on this past show, alright? So, one of the things that we witnessed was the leader of Retribution get revealed as none other than Mustafa Ali. So we saw in the main event, we saw Mustafa Ali going one-on-one with MVP. During the match, all the sort of lights start flickering. Retribution's about to attack. And when they do, Ali looks as if he's going to join the Hurt Business to fight against them. And all of a sudden, he gets out the ring. He gets in the Retribution's face. And he slowly turns around, aligning with them. Tells Retribution to get the Hurt Business. They follow his orders. And once the Hurt Business is taken out, they all raise their hands in the ring. And have a good time. Have a good time about it. So yeah, Mustafa Ali, the leader of Retribution. What do you think?
It was the most surprisingly predictable thing I've seen in a good way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody, not everybody, but a good chunk were saying, oh, the symbol on the hacker's arm was Mustafa Ali's, gear, I guess, the hand gear. So it must connect to the hackers, and the hacker must connect to Retribution. So, people, put the mat, and, it was a good thing to see. The way it unfolded was good. It was good. It was a direct ripoff from the Aces and Eights storyline, where how Bully Ray got revealed as the leader of Aces and Eights. Literally, like, he was freaking back to back with Jeff Hardy as Aces and Eights, who were freaking circling the steel cage back in Lockdown 2013. And, the way he just was revealed as the leader was exactly the way Retribution was. And again, the 7-year deal, man. You can repeat a storyline once every 7 years. That happened in 2013. Now it happens with Retribution 2020 with the exact same style of reveal. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, Vince McMahon watches TNA too. Besides watching us, I'm telling you. So he just waited 7 years to pull the trigger. He was, Ali, pretty good. He deserves the whole push. I think right now they're gonna do money things with him, which still I'm not too keen. I'm not fully embracing Retribution yet, simply because they don't have an identity. What are they? Are they a hacking group? Are they like a guerrilla group? Like, what are they exactly? They're not. They say they're not under contract, but they clearly are under contract.
No, they are under contract. They say they're under contract. They WWE gave them contracts so that they could, thinking that it would stop them from wrecking the place, but it didn't matter because they keep gonna wreck the place.
That makes no goddamn sense. This like freaking.
Retribution's storyline is a faulty AWOL storyline.
Oh, pretty much. Oh, you got
their whole thing is that they've been mistreated, they've been misused, they've had setbacks within the WWE due to various people or management or whatever the case may be. And they've changed themselves, they've all aligned together, and they want to take down the WWE. But they just, the reason I say it's a bad AWOL, because AWOL made sense. Like, everyone was under contract originally, and they built this rebellion quietly while under contract. These guys attacked, and WWE's like, you know what? These criminals who keep attacking us, these thugs who are not under contract, coming on our show, destroying everything. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna hire them. Maybe that will sort things out. We'll give him a job.
Give him a job here. It's like, what can go wrong? Dude, they did this perfectly even better with the NWO 20 years ago. Not even 25 years ago. They did better. Small details. Like, for example, when Scott Hall debut, they made the camera angle feel like, he wasn't supposed to be there. But it was that small detail. Or even better, because right now I'm 100% sure they're going to have, the freaking company that they're destroying, hey, they're going to sell their freaking t-shirt on their website. I guarantee you. What the NWO did was phenomenal. They had their own shirt, right? But they did not go out and put them like on the shirt pole where the rest of the merchandise was. No. They had their own vans come out and pretty much sold them like they were black market shirts, like out the arena, like they weren't supposed to be there. That type of stuff. Now it's just so fake. It's just like, nah. You're yapping your gums. You're trying to shove this storyline down our throats, which is very hard to believe in the first place. And I make considering that, there's no people around to even be attacked, so it doesn't feel, there's no sense of urgency. There's no sense of danger with Retribution because it feels like a regular play. I know how this is going to end. We all know how this is going to unfold. It's just like you said, a faulty version of AWOL. Only this time we actually knew what we were doing. And from what I'm saying, despite the fact that I mentioned before that I do like that Ali is the leader and I do like the fact that there is something going on, doesn't mean that I actually think that they pulled it off quite well. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm mixed feelings on the whole Retribution thing, man. It's just seems to be going good at one moment, and then the next moment it just waver and be a bit faulty. There's been so many moments when it comes to Retribution where it was like, if you had just done it this way, it would have been so much better. It would have worked so much cooler if you had just done it in this way instead. But yeah, and I feel that way really when it comes to the whole Mustafa Ali reveal. I don't know if I've just not been paying attention enough, but I've not really been noticing too many teases when it comes to the whole thing. I felt I've been watching Raw fairly actively. I don't think Ali has been involved in this in person at all yet, has he?
No, besides the fact that if they connected with him being the hacker, that would make sense. But
yeah, but then on the other side of things, the hacker's gimmick was justice and allowing and giving the truth to people like faces typically.
Right. There is not. There's
Does this work with this?
Like you mentioned, and I'm gonna mention as well again. Retribution has no clear identity. They have no clear premise. They have no clear background. It's just when they see a plot hole. No, we did this because of that. Yeah. Like it just feels like you're just putting on band-aids, are you? Just to letting the bloodstream flow. It's like it feels like it's gonna fall apart. First of all, I do not like the name. There's a lot of teams out there. All of stables that start with RE, it's just, just another one of those rage now. It's like, it's just, I think the word I want to describe it is, the stable is, bootleg. There you go. It feels bootleg, so, and Mustafa Ali, like I said, he deserves the spot. I still don't believe that he should be, seen as this almighty leader. Maybe he can pull it off.
That's the other thing as well. It's like, okay, so we've got some legitimate badass monsters here, and Mustafa Ali's the man reining them all in.
I know, right? Like,
it's like you can communicate to me that yes, he was the SmackDown hacker, but that doesn't really increase his threat level in my mind. And it doesn't do a lot for, you could say he was a SmackDown hacker, but the SmackDown hacker was nobody. It's not like he has a big list of accomplishments and a big list of cool things that he did that's going to be like, oh my God, that was Ali? He did a couple of things that really didn't go anywhere, and for them to just turn around and say like, oh yeah, that guy, that was the seeds of Retribution. Okay, yeah. I guess, but I don't think that was the plan from from the get go, and it's really obvious then that it wasn't the plan from the get go.
Right. Now, have you mentioned to me that the freaking leader was someone like Randy Orton or hell even John Cena? I'm like, okay, well, this is a big deal. But Mustafa Ali is like, this feels like a trial run for Ali or the rest of the group. Like, we had nothing for you guys, so this is your last chance. Same deal with the Nexus, but somehow Nexus did it 10 times better. I don't know what it is, but they did it 10 times better. And they didn't have any fancy gear, didn't have any fancy gimmicks. It's just like, it was a cool premise that these rookies were being mistreated, and it all took 1 week. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, not 2 years, or how long this freaking thing was building up to where they actually come out and revealed that. No, it took like 2 weeks.
Oh, but the Nexus attack, that first Nexus attack was so shocking and so iconic, and they did things during the attack that was just so thing. And then Retribution come out trying to do the same thing, and oh my god, I will.
But they were trying too hard, man.
Dude, I will always cringe at the chainsaw spot.
I know.
When they're like, he cuts the first one, he's like, yeah, you want to see me do it again? You want to see me do it? Yeah. You want to see me do the last one? You want to see me do the last one? Yeah.
Oh god, no, don't be marks. It was like, it's like what I saw when I said, like, these are a bunch of marks yelling as far as they can. It's like, hey, pay attention to me. I am the new head honcho. It's like, no, you're not gangster, my man. You're not the head honcho. You're not gonna be Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're not a rebel.
It didn't feel natural. Was a lot of the problem with those initial Retribution attacks. The moments that were meant to replicate the feelings that the Nexus attacks did just didn't have it, because I guess they took those attacks in more of a, because they didn't have the crowd there, in more of a scripted take direction. Like, maybe that wasn't the first take. Maybe it was just they were intentionally trying to have it look in a certain way, and because of that, that's why it failed. Whereas the Nexus was just like, all right, boys, one shot, go out there, live TV, make it happen, and they just made it work.
They made it happen. Took one shot. And they had a good symbol behind it. It was literally like, you recognize them from NXT. They're just wrecking the shit out now, to the point where they done it so well that Daniel Bryan got released because he did it too well.
Did it too good, man. My man.
My man. But no, he got back 4 weeks later. That's how good he is. So, I'm just saying, it didn't feel natural. It feels contrived. It just feels... it feels like it's weird. It's contrary. It's what it is. It feels bootleg. It feels contrary. Like, these guys are rebels, but they sound like they're reading from scripts as well. They're doing everything by the script. It's like, just nah.
I feel like they've got one last chance now to get this on a path that makes sense, that most people are gonna get into, because they're not even in that position where you either love them or hate them. It's like you either love them or you're kind of laughing at them.
I'm laughing, dude. The T-bar is a freaking tongue, man. It's a tongue. I mean, come on, dude. Just okay. And they want us to laugh, obviously, because T-bar is trolling on Twitter. I mean, what kind of guy trolls on Twitter and he's supposed to be taken seriously? Didn't he troll like freaking?
That's the other thing. They're just
Eric Bischoff too.
They're all just trolling on Twitter, and it is. On one hand, I see them and I feel like they are connecting with fans in a slightly different way from how people have done traditionally, but it just does not work with the gimmick.
No, it does not. That's not. If you're a circus clown gimmick, yeah, go ahead, make Twitter make an ass out of yourself. That's fine, make people laugh. But you guys are supposed to be like this chaotic. Lou, do you know what would have been better if imagine they didn't have any Twitter accounts? Imagine if, dude, this is so simple. Imagine if they freaking for one day, once a week, right? They hacked the WWE Twitter account, freaking made it all black, right? Just like a black image glitch screen, and then they post something cryptic, and then WWE gets it back, like, oh, so you got hacked, boom, once a week or once a month, whatever. Just that's the retribution, stuff like that. And they leak out some dirty footage, of Vince McMahon talking to freaking dude. That'd be so cool. Vince McMahon, they get this camera footage of like Vince McMahon talking to Paul, like the host, like, oh, we gotta let go of this guy. This guy's not any good. Like, just like this is how they treat us. They treat us like paper. We're like Pokemon cards, like.
Oh, that'd be great.
So stuff like that. Listen to us, Vince. Listen to me and hire me too.
Yeah, the whole Twitter thing is just in so many different directions, and like because of everything that's been going on with the whole Twitch fiasco, certain people have got 2 Twitter accounts now, and certain people in the Retribution have got 2 Twitter accounts, one as their Retribution character, one as their other wrestler, and it's just you gotta dial this in. You gotta give people just I don't know.
Make it simple. One account. That's it. Boom. That's the one thing.
No
That's
account. Just continue being Dominic Dijakovic in your free time, Mia Yim on your free time. Be fucking T-Bone and Slackjaw and Slapjack and whoever they are on Raw, and just keep the 2 separate. They don't need to be on Twitter as Retribution in that way.
No, they don't. Bottom line is simplified. So newcomers that actually watch the show for the first time can actually connect with the actual product rather than, it's confusing them on social media now. So, but enough of me vomiting with the Retribution mishaps. There's still some good stuff. Let's talk about the Buddy Murphy and Rollins. I think, not Buddy Murphy. Just Murphy. He's not my buddy, guys. So Murphy and Rollins. I think this is a good step in the right direction. I think this was the natural path moving forward. I don't think that Murphy needs Rollins or Rollins needs Murphy or vice versa. That was vice versa. But you get what I mean. I think this is the natural thing. Weird thing is still, to me, why is the... I forgot her name. Freaking Rey Mysterio's daughter involved in all this.
I forgive it at this point. So I was in the same boat. I was like, okay, why we got Ray's daughter? Why is Ray's mom? Ray's wife, sorry. This is going a little bit too far, a little bit too cheesy for me. And some of the recent revelations that they've just done with Murphy and Ray's daughter and stuff, I wish they would have just brought that back a couple of weeks. Preferably sort of straight after Payback, maybe, would have been a good time to do this. Integrate Ray's family into the storyline a little bit more as they went. Get them involved a little bit earlier on instead of the mom being introduced at SummerSlam and then the daughter being introduced at Payback. Bring them in a little bit sooner so that you can have that relationship festering between Murphy and Elena while they've got the feud going on with Seth and Dominic. And then, like I said, pull the trigger on all this stuff a little bit more, because I've not really been enjoying a lot of the filler stuff that they've been doing leading up to this reveal, but this reveal is getting this whole storyline and this whole dynamic back on track for me a little bit more. I wasn't a fan of the whole Alayla Murphy stuff to begin with, but now it's feeling very Romeo and Juliet. You got 2 people, neither of their families, neither of their groups agree with them in their relationship, but they're in love anyway, and it's a little bit cheesy, but it's classic, a bit of Romeo and Juliet, so I'm cool with that. Seth and Murphy finally getting ready to have their match, finally splitting up, I think is great. I believe if the timing's right in my head, Seth should be on his way out real soon to go and spend some time with Becky and his new kid that's on the way. So it does look like Murphy might be the one to come out on top on this, and maybe if Seth comes back around Rumble time, they could even get a Mania match out of this.
Oh, that would be amazing. Listen, I was gonna pitch this idea, all right? So you have this whole Romeo and Juliet thing, all right? He doesn't forgive him for being with Ray's daughter tonight. How about this? How about at WrestleMania? It doesn't have to be Hell in a Cell, but at WrestleMania, you have Murphy on one side, you have Rollins on the other side. It's a ladder match for the custody of Ray's daughter. There you go. There you go.
Seth and Murphy, no Ray. Ray's not involved anymore.
Nah, he lost his other eyeball at this point. It will be classic. I know it's time left, but honestly, I do love Murphy versus Rollins. I think that match would be a steal. Well, Hell in a Cell is going to be pretty much at this point. It's going like there is that personal twist, like you mentioned to me earlier, Cam, that there is going to be. It seems like there's going to be Hell in a Cell, but and I'll say this much: Hell in a Cell. The backstory behind what it takes to have Hell in a Cell match is completely lost. Anything that's remotely a little bit personal, we're gonna sell it in Hell in a Cell. Like what? No, it's like it used to be like there was a streak on the line. There used to be like this freaking Undertaker being buried alive by Randy Orton. There was Mick Foley's retirement match. There was the end of an era. Like there was so much stuff going on behind Hell in a Cell to make it Hell in a Cell. But now it's just like, oh, you betrayed me, so Hell in a Cell. Okay. It's easy to get Hell in a Cell these days. That's my point. But
Yeah.
if it leads to a good match, like, freaking Uso and Reigns, Head Chief, oh, you can have that Hell in a Cell as much as you want, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. I think uh, I like what they've been doing with Hell in a Cell in more recent years because even though it's what you said, it's just anything that's remotely a little bit personal, they give it a Hell in a Cell match. At least it's better than when Hell in a Cell as a pay-per-view first started, because when that happened, it was the case where they were just sort of throwing people into the Hell in a Cell matches without very personal feuds. So I like that they make a little bit effort when they're 3 months out for Hell in a Cell. They at least start adding some personal elements into the feuds.
That's true.
And yeah, it does look like that Seth Rollins and Murphy could end up being one of those Hell in a Cell matches. We will circle back to some Hell in a Cell talk here soon, but let's talk about the main event of Hell in a Cell last year. One of the competitors in that, The Fiend, and what he's got going on right now on SmackDown and Raw, I guess. This seems to be a little bit one of those cross-promotion storylines that they have typically leading up to the draft. They have one storyline that appears on both shows ready for the draft. And that one is, like I said, Alexa and The Fiend. Alexa seems to be fascinated by The Fiend, has come under his spell, and is now a disciple of The Fiend. And they currently are teaming up and going head to head with one Kevin Owens.
Wow.
So yeah, what are you thinking about Alexa and the Fiend so far? Like, how do you feel about that dynamic? You a fan?
I mean, I'm not a fan. I don't like it either. It's just like, okay, where is this leading? Is this the payoff? Like, did freaking Bray actually score here for real? Like, are you even trying to make me jealous? What's going on? Like, I don't get it. I lose all this weight. I freaking go to the gym, and here's this fat clown, and he gets Alexa. And you're trying to get me mad, right? All it takes is some drugs. I think he drugged her, and being realistic, like legit. Is that what you're trying to tell me? WWE is okay to do drug women? Like, yo, what the hell's going on here? Like, that's the way it's going, right? I don't see it, being logistically, real. Because at this point, Alexa looks like she's being, in a trance. She doesn't look normal. So she's not herself. So again, either she's being hypnotized or she's being drugged. Whatever the case is. I'm just waiting for this payoff to where she finally wakes up and she goes, ew, I was dating you? Like, just waiting. I'm waiting for that fat clown reveal to be heartbroken.
You all
yeah.
along.
I know. But I'm waiting for the payoff. I'm not going to judge it yet because it's, I can tell you this much better than Bray versus Braun. But that's not saying much, is it? Because that thing was just a clusterfuck, so I'll give it a few more weeks, even months to see where it goes. Braun, I think he just literally drowned in that river at this point. Where is he gone? Where is that? He shaved his head and he's been lost.
He's on Raw.
Yeah, but what is he doing?
He was on Raw Underground where he beat that top guy, and now Raw Underground seems...
That top guy, Braun beat that top guy.
Babatunde or something like that. Did
know.
Underground even have a segment on this week? I don't think
That's what I'm saying. Where is he? You're telling me Raw Underground. Well, like I said, he drowned, and now he's underground. So there you go.
Underground didn't have a segment this week. I guess that idea is dead.
It's not a brawl for all type of deal. Obviously, thank God it's not. It's not the worst as brawl for all, but at the same time, it's not as good as some of the logistics. And if you want to see a real fight, there's UFC. That's the problem that they're facing here with this whole shoot. I don't even know. It's definitely a work. All of it is a work. We can tell that, but they're trying to present it as a shoot. I'm not trying to copy Cornette when he says this, but it's true. You can't, first say that, this is all entertainment, it's a work. They ain't trying to present something that's a shoot when it's actually a work. It's like, I don't know. And Braun, poor guy, being the poster child of another failed experiment, it seems like, it's not doing him any favors. Braun really fell. He fell hard.
It looks like they're shaping up for a nice Braun and Keith Lee feud. They had an expedition match on Raw where they both got counted out. Braun then put Keith Lee through the barricade, and then Keith Lee put Braun through the stage, and then threw him
Yeah.
off of it.
Yeah, but Keith Lee's just a new guy. That's what I'm saying. He's still new, my man. And yes, he did beat Orton, but we all know that it didn't lead to anywhere really. Orton's still feuding with Drew McIntyre for the championship inside Hell in a Cell, which does not affect Keith Lee whatsoever. Correct?
No.
There you go. So it's like still filler. Like it's all a filler trial for Keith Lee, and unfortunately for Braun, I think Braun is the next meal for Keith Lee. I think that's the way they gave up on Braun. Said, maybe this guy wasn't the guy I thought. Maybe this Keith Lee big guy. Oh, he's a pick boy. Let me give him a shot. I think that's the way it's going right now. So, come in, Braun Strowman. Sorry, come out, Braun Strowman. Come in, Keith Lee. So that's what it is. It's a roundabout, really.
No, I just don't understand why they went through the whole effort of repackaging Braun as a big monster just to feed him to people, unless that's what you wanted, was a big scary monster to feed to people. But
I didn't even realize he was a scary monster, honestly. Didn't he? He just shaved his head and just acted saying roar, and that's it.
roar.
That's it. Trust me, shaving your head is a very traumatic feeling. I can tell you that. So Braun being scarred, I can relate to that. I can tell you that's 100% real. It's not a shoot. However, if you're gonna make him lose in his first match after he's so-called repackaged as a monster, being defeated by Bray and then being speared by Roman and never seeing the light of day again, and losing it, and then losing again the following pay-per-view in the triple threat, fail, man. It's just nah.
Yeah, no, it didn't go good for Braun. But yeah, as far as the Alexa and Bray stuff goes, I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I know a lot of people are feeling that it's very, very classical horror movie type stuff, isn't it? Getting like a blonde female involved with the monster. So
God damn it, man. Jesus, makes me jealous. I'm telling you, it does. It makes me angry. I'm telling you, like losing all this stuff, losing all the weight, going to the gym, just so you can possibly get just some love, just some recognition. This clown with 300 pounds of Jigglypuff coming out of his tits just gets Alexa. Like, get out of here. Get out of here. Making me angry, man. Just what it is.
Winner.
Damn right.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see where it goes, though. I think most people that have been with Bray have always ended up doing good because of it.
Half of them, I'd say.
Well, I don't know. Like, so Luke Harper, Eric Rowan.
Right, those are the two that didn't go.
Oh, I'm not saying they went on to do good things. I'm saying that while they were with Bray, it was a good thing.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay, okay.
Harper, Rowan, Braun, Randy, and now Alexa.
Except Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy didn't do so well.
Oh yeah, Matt Hardy. Remember that? The eaters of the
leaders
of worlds. That's it.
Wow, what that truly was. Oh, we have nothing for you guys, so just put them together. I don't know.
Yeah.
That really was that. You're like, oh my god. We should throw them a bone fins. Matt. Oh, okay, he came back. So and I'll give him the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. You sure? Yeah, whatever. That Battle Royal, poor Andre, man. It's so like filler that they even removed it from this year's WrestleMania. So yeah. Whatever, man. Whatever. It is. But yeah, you're right. Bray, when he has someone under his wing, they do good stuff. As a matter of fact, when he had Orton and Luke, Luke actually had the match of his career against Orton at what was it? The pay-per-view before Roadblock, was it? Oh, Fastlane 2015. There you go. That was the pinnacle of Harper. But then nothing came from that. So
yeah. I just think Bray could do some fun things with a woman by his side. I see him doing some sinister sort of distractions with her, and just there's all kinds of stuff that I'm sure is spinning around in the head of Bray Wyatt. That would be.
He's watching The Nun 24/7. I guarantee you. Now he's gonna copy some stuff from that movie.
Yeah, for sure. All the horror movies, bring them out. Bring them out. All right, so moving on from Alexa Bray, circling back to some Hell in a Cell thoughts, and yeah, just really honing in on this idea of this being an all Hell in a Cell pay-per-view like we predicted on the last episode of the podcast, and seems to be going that way with this one. So far, officially booked for the show, we have Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, Hell in a Cell. Drew
like you predicted.
McIntyre versus Randy Orton, Hell in a Cell. And so far, building up to this show, it looks as if we're going to be getting Bayley versus Sasha, Hell in a Cell. Another match being built for this show is Seth Rollins versus Murphy, which one would assume is personal enough to be involved in Hell in a Cell. What other matches are they teasing for this one?
Hurt Business versus Retribution. I don't know. So.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
So Hurt Business is officially tweener at least at this point, right? Like you can't just keep on,
Well,
doing this.
So yeah, I was thinking about that. I was thinking, are they? What's the idea? Are they intentionally feuding Retribution with a team that has traditionally been portrayed as the heels? Because they're gonna try and flip it on his head and be like, Retribution is the good guys all along.
They're not gonna copy FAM. No. Please, for the love of God, we did this thing correctly. And first of all, you can't have Retribution be the good guys because the simple fact is they have the higher numbers, and usually in basic storytelling fundamentals, when you have the higher numbers, they're always supposed to be the antagonists. These guys, the Hurt Business, are 4 now. They're now 3 because one of them, what was it? I think he was sick, whatever. So there's 3 of them, right? So Cedric Alexander. So Cedric Alexander is is sick. So there's 3 of them right now, right? So you can't have it be like the Hurt Business are the heels while Retribution is the faces. I think at this point it's the reverse. They're going to be at least tweeners, the Hurt Business, and Retribution is definitely the full-on heels right now. They can't flip that switch just yet, boy. They can't flip it.
Yeah. So gonna have to do some work before they can get to that point. It'd be a bit weird if they were just like, yeah, they're the good guys. Wouldn't be a fan of that. But I would be a fan of them in Hell in a Cell against the Hurt Business. I want that official Retribution versus Hurt Business match, and I want them to do it justice. And maybe a bit of chaoticness inside Hell in a Cell could be just what we need, or at least, at least a one-on-one featuring them. If the entire pay-per-view is going to be Hell in a Cell themed, they did Ali versus MVP, had some crazy moment where Retribution swarm the cell, fill up the cell, just look like a bunch of ants crawling all over it. They're on the sides. That could be a really cool image.
Right.
Yeah.
You want a cool idea and a cool history lesson? If they actually made it to where it's 3-on-3, it'll be the first time 6 men were in a Hell in a Cell match ever since Armageddon 2000. That was actually like the 6th. It was called Armageddon Hell in a Cell. So if they want to have that trademark back, it's Armageddon Hell in a Cell. 3 versus 3, Hurt Business versus 3 members of the Retribution. They can do it, and that'll be an amazing co-main event at least.
You think it'd be 4-man with Ali, Mace, I was going to say T-Pain then. T-Bone and Slapjack versus MVP, Bobby, Cedric, and Shelton.
I mean, if Cedric is, healthy enough, for sure, it'll be 4-on-4. I think it'll be the most chaotic Hell in a Cell match ever, really. 8 men in that same, sure. It's just that all depends really on Cedric's health. I don't know what the update on that whole scenario is, but the more the merrier. At the same time, you can't have it be too much because then they'll be like, what the hell are we going to do with 8 guys inside that freaking ring and that cage? There's a little bit too much, so maybe have actually even better for just have the 3 members of each team's fight inside Hell in a Cell and then the leaders fight in one-on-one individual Hell in a Cells. If they want to do it, I don't know. Just, I think at that point, right, lots of stuff. At this point, they can do whatever they want. As a matter of fact, I actually conclude that pay-per-view with just that 5 Hell in a Cell matches, and they can take their time. Really, just go all out. You can fill up 3 hours like that easily without any filler. So there you go.
I think that'd be nice. if they just did all that. Match I'm really looking forward to on this is going to be Roman versus Jey Uso. My favorite Hell in a Cell match of all time is the New Day versus the Usos.
Really?
Yep, I think after watching Hell in a Cell matches for obviously years and years and years, their match in particular was just such a breath of fresh air in a good way. It was just so chaotic. They were so innovative with the cell. They did stuff in that Hell in a Cell match, that everybody else has done in their Hell in a Cell match since, because it was just so innovative and it was just so unique.
Right.
They used
I
that environment to their advantage, and I thought it was fantastic.
Right, I actually did caught on that. Like, yo, I remember specifically the candlestick corner trap
Yeah.
thing that they did. Like,
Mhm.
yo, everybody's been doing that, especially in the women's side. Like, yo, what do you freaking the ladies like the big sticks? I guess. Yo, but
Oh,
for
boy.
real, like legit, you're telling me right now. Actually, now make the recollection of having the New Day and the Usos actually innovate the Hell in a Cell. The only thing I do not like about the new Hell in a Cell is just that it's the red color. I don't know. I think it distracts from the camera's perspective or the
Oh
red aesthetic.
yeah, I hate that. I hate
Like this,
that.
right. I hope they don't do it this year. Like, it's just, it's just. They might even have to shrink the Hell in a Cell. Actually, maybe have it be like 5 feet less. I don't know, because they're not gonna climb up that damn thing, are they? Otherwise, you're gonna hit the lights, literally.
Oh, God knows. I'm
Right.
intrigued. I'm intrigued to see how they're gonna try to pull this bad boy off.
It'll be a bad boy. That's guaranteed. If it's 5 matches Hell in a Cell, it'll be a historic night. It'll never be done before again after this.
Yeah, nice Corona remnants of the Corona era.
Nah, make the best out. You turn chicken shit turn into chicken salad. So that's what they're doing.
But yeah, Jey Uso with his brother Jimmy against the New Day. 22 minutes in Hell in a Cell. I'm excited to see what he could do with 40 minutes in Hell in a Cell with Roman, especially
Oh.
with obviously we're gonna. Paul has been having some say in the matches so far, and that's why Roman versus Jay, the first match, was just chock filled with so much story and all that fun stuff. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot of that stuff continue into this match. I think it's going to be incredible.
Oh yeah, that's without a doubt. I'm looking forward to actually that match alone just makes me want to pay more than $9.99 for a pay-per-view. Just the Samoans, man, they're freaking amazing. I'm telling you. Just keep coming. Bring in Rikishi, bring in The Rock, bring in anybody. Hell, freaking I know it's not related, but bring in Samoa Joe. Christ, just get it.
Get it. I think Samoa Joe is probably going to have Seth at some point after Seth's storyline with Murphy.
Well, he might even have Retribution sooner than we think.
Been teasing that for a long while.
Yeah, so let's do that.
But yeah, that is pretty much all of our topics for this evening here. We just got one more to briefly touch on, the draft. Now, we don't know an awful lot about the draft at this current moment in time. As you guys are seeing this podcast, the first night of the draft will be tomorrow. We'll be live right here on Twitch if you want to check that out, twitch.tv/BrokenFunBash. Yeah, we'll be live for that, and first night's tomorrow. What we know is that SmackDown, Raw, and NXT are all involved in the draft, and that SmackDown and Raw are the nights of the draft, so a 2-night draft. Yeah, any expectations? Any people in particular you want to see switched up, head over to a different brand? Do you want to speak anything into existence?
Speak anything into existence. I would say you're going to have a little bit of a surprise from people from NXT are coming to the main roster, and I guarantee you a big name is going to go to the NXT roster. A big name which is not going to be pretty much used. I actually believe that WWE is so crazy. Look, hear me out. This might be a crazy prediction, but maybe, just maybe, since WWE at this point might be already willing to give up on Retribution, maybe they'll pull off an absolute twist. Maybe they'll send Ali to NXT and Retribution goes to NXT altogether. Just you take them. We're done with this. What?
Could you imagine?
I know, but then it'll be like, this whole, it makes sense because, WWE was playing them, and then they get even more angrier, so they attack all shows. So there you go. So I don't know, so that's my wild prediction, Ali to NXT. Like, I just came from there, They're going to freaking put me back there? Nah. I'm trying to mess with the system. So who knows? But yeah, that's my wild prediction.
Nice. I would like to see a few things happen. I too would like to see a big unexpected name head over to NXT. They could just go over there, be treated like an absolute megastar while on that roster. And yeah, I would like to see something like that. I'm talking top of the roster. I'm talking like Randy Orton caliber. I would love to see.
Oh, Randy Orton after those statements at NXT. Oh,
Yeah.
I would watch NXT. I would watch NXT then. Oh my god,
It'd
Yes,
be
I would.
awesome. It would have this vibe of like most hated man in the room sort of thing.
That would be amazing.
And especially off of the back of
Oh.
the Legend Killer to go to
Yeah.
Rookie Town, become the Rookie Killer.
Yo, he kills the indie. Oh yes, he's killing them. Yo,
Kills
he's
the
showing them
indies.
how he's showing how the land of the giants work. Your
Uh-huh.
small time. Your small time where I'm coming from. Yo,
Yeah.
that's a cool twist. That would make NXT. Dude, do that. You beat AEW. Guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed.
Oh yeah. Let's get Randy Orton to go head to head with Chris Jericho on
There
Wednesday
you
night.
go. Call him a mark on Twitter. RKO everybody on NXT. Get paid more than anybody on that roster. Yo, Randy Orton is a made man.
Dude,
man,
have
I'm
Randy
telling-
Orton go over, beat Finn Balor on the first pay-per-view, just be NXT champion, reign for a year.
There you go. Reign for a year till his retirement. I think, yo, Randy Orton might actually be the savior of NXT versus AEW. Like, yo, do that. Actually, screw my Ali idea, even though it's great. Just do Orton. Do freaking Orton. After, let's say, it'll be such a cool twist, too. You have Randy Orton, who's already going to NXT, fight Drew for the WWE Championship. WWE Championship going to NXT, that whole feel, like, could it happen? Like,
Yeah.
yo, yes.
Hot stuff. And you could even have that dynamic. You know how Kevin Owens came over to the main roster with the NXT title initially? You could have Randy beat Drew. It's that... you could have that and then have the rematch sort of up into Survivor Series or TLC. Have him actually appear on NXT with the WWE title for a little while.
Yeah.
Wednesday
holy.
night's got a new king at that point.
Oh boy, just do it. I think that because after his feud with Drew, Randy Orton is going to go. Because Randy Orton has always been like this. He's very, very flexible. He's that type
Yeah.
of character. He can be either in the opening match, he can be in the tag team, mid card, main event, whatever. So at this point, after he hits this like main event stratus again, he's gonna go back to the mid card. And it's going to feel stale, as usual. That's the way things go until he goes back and being hot stuff again, the main event stuff. Why not change it to where, okay, let's put you as the big dog again, but this time on NXT and kill the competition, literally. So
Yeah.
RKOs on these generic indie schmucks left and right. I would watch it. Oh, NXT would be must watch. Must see, I
It'd
guarantee.
be beautiful. It'd be so good.
Yeah,
So-
fantastic.
Randy Orton going to NXT. I would have either Dominic on his own or Dominic and Ray get drafted to SmackDown. Just the main priority here is removing them away from the scenario that they've been involved in for the last sort of few months with Seth and letting Dominic now get onto a more sort of traditional path. If you want to move Ray over there, have him go after the titles, that'd be great.
Oh, okay.
Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio versus Nakamura and Cesaro. Sounds like a fire match if you ask
Right.
me. It's fire little feud. You could do a few matches of those. So Dominic to Ray SmackDown, would love to see that. And coming over to Raw, let's get Otis over there because that man is not cashing in on Roman before WrestleMania.
No, he's not.
We could definitely find more of a suitable spot for him to cash in over on Raw with the WWE title. So
Right.
Otis to Raw, Dominic and Ray to SmackDown, Randy to NXT.
Yeah, I to be honest, the way they're pulling Otis, I feel like he's about to get clowned. Honestly, I think what he's gonna do is he might actually give the briefcase to Mandy, and then he's gonna cash it on the women's championship. I think that's the.
Ooh.
I think that's what because I don't feel like Otis is going to be like, dude, you have Drew McIntyre and you have Randy Orton, and then you have Otis. Like, nah, you can't. That's not a good transition, folks. That's not a good logo loop at all. Like, there's like you can't. I mean, even the way he won the briefcase was funny.
The only
so-
way I see Otis cashing in legitimately is in a sort of scenario where Drew loses the title to someone like Randy. Drew comes out the next night and destroys Randy. Otis cashes in then on the heel.
All
And
right.
then Drew ends up picking it back up of Otis.
Like I said, transitional champion, but
Yeah.
a wasted briefcase still. At the same
Yeah.
time, the briefcase has been wasted plenty these past few years, so it's not even a big deal at this point. Like, some even didn't even cash it in properly, like Baron Corbin and even Sandow. So it's like, wasteful it is, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hopefully they do something interesting with it. I like. As long as they do something interesting, something unique, I'm satisfied. As long as the story is justified in what you do and it turns out good, I'm happy with that. If they want to have the thing where Otis in love gives it to Mandy so that she can cash in and win the women's title, and that's somehow allowed, then awesome, cool, do that.
all right, yeah, I agree. Just a matter of payoffs. If the payoff is good, then everything is good.
Yeah.
But if it makes no sense and it's just a way to, justify somebody else falling off a writing conclusion, then no, it's not good. It's just a wasteful. You waste our time, man. You wasted our money. You wasted our precious
Wasted
energy
our
to
money
watch.
in the bank.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, yeah. I see what you did. You wasted. And to be honest, now that time is flying by so fast during this pandemic, you're gonna have another briefcase coming up in the next 7 months too. So hurry up with that shtick. So time's a wasted.
Yeah, they got a good amount of time left, but at the same time, it's just not a lot of opportunities. I think Roman's. I don't think they're gonna have a chance to cash in on the SmackDown side of things until after WrestleMania. I feel like Roman's holding that title indefinitely till then, to probably face The Rock, and no chance Otis can cash in on that side without just looking like a
Oh
clown.
no! You bring in The Rock and you bring Otis? Nah. Unless you want to have a funny segment with The Rock clowning Otis, calling him fat mankind, even fatter mankind. So there you go.
Yeah. And then they got a situation where on the Raw side of things, as we get closer and closer to WrestleMania, you're going to lose more and more opportunity to allow Otis to cash in. So I think time is now. I think between now and TLC season, you got to get him on Raw and you got to get his cash in there if that is how you're going to do it. But yeah, it's not looking pretty for Otis. I gotta say.
I'm imagining this stuff right now. Imagine Otis is the first guy to forget to cash in on time. Imagine that. I mean, it's history, yeah, but is it like good history? Just because you could doesn't mean you should, but it does fit the Otis character. Like, imagine he cashes it in the day after the whole thing expires. So he thinks he's winning it. Then out comes Vince. I'm sorry, you don't have the it factor. Plus, your contract expired yesterday. So it's just
That's an R-Truth moment right there.
I know, but Otis
the briefcase and R-Truth to do that.
R-Truth deserves a spin on that, but you know what? Yeah, that's another topic for another time because right now, WWE, despite all the negative things we've been saying, regarding the criticism on NXT, Raw, SmackDown, whatever, it's much better than let's say what was happening a few months ago with the iPop thing, with the Money in the Bank. So there is that little spike. There is that spike of goodness. Retribution could have been way better, but we're gonna get the time, we're gonna get the chance. So, please, you either pull off the Ali being an actual legitimate leader, or you just hand it over to NXT and let them deal with it. So there you go.
Yeah, come a long way since those eyes getting popped out, haven't we?
Oh yeah. So like Vince McMahon says, you gotta write some good shit, and I gotta give it to them. They've been writing better shit. So, let's see where this goes. Hopefully, we got the Roman thing. We got the potential good stuff with Retribution, Buddy and Buddy Murphy and Rollins, Rey Mysterio and the Sun doing little peekaboo, Randy Orton and Drew. Oh, Ric Flair driving a freaking ambulance. Top shit right there. I watched that. That thing was funny. That thing was the best. That's the moment of 2020 for me. I don't think they're going to do a Slammy this year, simply because, well, this year is not a good time to celebrate. Let's put it that way.
Oh
But,
man, they've done so many incredible things this year. They definitely need a Slammies.
well, the top two moments, or three moments, I should say, either Rey Mysterio's 2020, right, where either he fell off a freaking tower, or he freaking lost his eye, or Ric Flair driving an ambulance. Other than that, I can't see anybody else topping those moments.
No, I think Ray's definitely had the year. Yeah, need a special award for Ray at this year's Slammies.
Dude, and now... And now his year is ending with his freaking daughter getting shafted by his arch enemy. Yo, he can't catch a break.
Fuck Ray.
That's what Vince's mentality is like. Who's this Rey Mysterio fella? Isn't he that guy that left twice already? What are we gonna do with him?
Tragic 2020 that Rey Mysterio's had.
Dude, Rey Mysterio is the Wile E. Coyote of 2020. Like, he's just getting screwed every episode. He falls from... Dude, he literally was the Wile E. Coyote. He fell for like 100 feet and still survived the following episode. Like, nothing happened. That freaking Wile E. Coyote camera just... Whee, boom. And then the next scene, he's just there. No problem.
I think I want to make that YouTube video come December. The tragic 2020 of Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, that could actually give you a lot of views because, you know, there's a lot of people that share the same opinion as you regarding Rey's unfortunate year. For us, it was very fortunate because it's the most entertaining year I've seen in Mysterio since 2006. Beyond that, you know, and even 2006 was a poor year for Rey Mysterio, entertaining-wise. He freaking got his leg broken by freaking Chavo. He lost his world championship to King Buka. You know, he freaking lost the number one contendership at WrestleMania to Randy Orton. Like, you know, after Randy Orton said, Eddie's in hell. So, very heartbreaking. Yo, Rey Mysterio, he's the punching bag, and I freaking adore him for that.
They're really drumming up the whole underdog thing with Mr. Bray again, aren't they? Setting him up for another world title match, perhaps.
Honestly, after the shtick he's been going through this year, this guy deserves to be thrown a bone. So please, you know, give him something. You know, this guy lost an eye for you, Vince. Please give him something.
And on that note, folks, we're gonna look to wrap things up here. Good episode tonight. Got through quite a lot of topics, some very interesting things going on in the WWE right now, whether for good or bad is the debate, is the conversation, and that's why we're here with you guys for the Bust and Bash podcast to discuss all the beautiful, amazing, and ugly things that happen in the world of wrestling.
Sports entertainment, fella.
Sports entertainment. Yeah, guys, that's episode 7 of the Bust and Bash podcast. You got anything to pimp out before we head off, Rom?
To be honest, nothing so far, you know, other than watch us on youtube.com/XFAMXHD, and then you can focus on Jam as well from Cameron Bash's side, youtube.com/Broken Fun Bash, and obviously on his Twitter at twitter.com/Broken Fun Bash. And also, don't you have a Jam Twitter profile as well? You can plug that in.
I do. Broken Fun Jam. So Broken Fun Bash for me, Broken Fun Jam for Jam.
All right, pajamas. There you go. There you go. Follow us at that. Also, you're obviously watching this podcast live on twitch.tv/Broken Fun Bash. And then you can watch the replay on the YouTube on youtube.com/Bust and Bash show. So there you go. Bust and Bash podcast. Sorry. Damn, look at me. I'm botching already harder than NXT. Damn it, my man. So anyways, yeah. Not much to say other than that. Hope you all have a good day. Because again, you know, I'm telling you this right now. This is a podcast where everything we say comes to fruition. So if tomorrow, because this is recorded before the draft, so if this comes out, the fact that the draft predictions that we've placed right here come to be true, then, you know, we've got some special powers.
Remind me of yours again real quick.
Ali to NXT. And obviously, my other favorite, your stuff, Randy Orton to NXT.
Randy to NXT, let's do it.
Let's, you know, so NXT, you know, getting that big rub, the big boost to kill AEW. I'm not gonna lie, man. I think Vince McMahon just really wants to shove it to Tony, and I think he might actually do both. He might just say, brought them there, Retribution and Orton. The Randy and Retribution.
Everybody's going to NXT. It's now a 4-hour show.
There you go. Fuck you, Jericho. There you go. There's a new Y2K here. Well, yeah, dude, it's great. It's phenomenal. Let's see what happens. Like I said, this is we have the crystal balls here, and the balls are telling us that things are about to get pretty hot. But we did predict Hell in a Cell that the matches will be full on cell matches, so there is some legitimacy behind our prediction, besides everything else. So you know the drill.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, and we'll see you next week for another one. Have a good weekend.
Yeah. NXT sucks.